Let's be real for a second. Parenting can feel, well, kind of like you're trying to build something really complicated without the instructions. There is so much advice out there, it's easy to get overwhelmed. So today, we're going to cut through all that noise and give you one clear, actionable guide. Let's get right into it. So let's just start with the most important question there is. Forget the thousands of different tips you've heard for a minute. If you could only focus on one single thing to raise confident, resilient, emotionally strong kids, what would that one thing be? It's a huge question, I know, but the answer is actually surprisingly simple. The secret isn't a long, complicated list of rules. No, it's a blueprint. Think about it like you're building a house. You have to have a solid foundation to build on, right? And then you need 4 really sturdy pillars to hold the whole thing up. That's exactly what we're going to walk through, a clear structure for building a stronger, more connected relationship with your child. First up, the absolute bedrock. This is the non-negotiable. Before we can teach our kids anything, before we can guide them, they have to feel emotionally safe with us. And this isn't just some nice, fluffy idea, it's a core psychological need, and it is the starting point for literally everything else we're going to talk about. So what exactly is emotional safety? Well, it's that deep down feeling your child has that your love for them isn't going anywhere. It means they know without a doubt that they can come to you with their biggest messes, their ugliest feelings, their worst mistakes, and you will still be their safe place. This is the very soil where confidence and resilience start to grow. And this isn't just some abstract theory, you know? It's about small, practical things we do every single day. Just look at that second point there. Validate their feelings before correcting their behavior. This is so important. When your kid is having a meltdown, our first instinct is to say, stop crying or calm down. But try this instead. Wow, I can see you're really upset right now. Just by validating the feeling first, that simple switch can change the entire dynamic. Okay, so with our foundation of emotional safety poured and solid, let's move on to our very first pillar, communication. This is how we build the actual framework on top of that foundation. It's how we strengthen that connection day by day, conversation by conversation. Now here, this is a trap that we all fall into. I mean, all of us. Most of the time, we're listening to respond. We're just kind of waiting for our turn to talk, to jump in with a fix, to give our advice. But the real connection, the good stuff, happens when we shift over to listening to understand. And that means we have to put our own agenda on hold for a minute and just genuinely try to see the world from their point of view. So how do we actually do that? Well, it's a skill, and you can practice it with these 4 simple steps. Step 1 is probably the biggest challenge for most of us in this day and age. Put the phone down. Really be there with them. And step 3, that's an absolute game changer. Just reflecting their feeling back to them. Saying something like, wow, that sounds so frustrating, can be way more powerful than any piece of advice you could ever give. All right, building on that connection, we come to our next pillar, discipline. Now, I know for many of us, that word can have some pretty negative feelings attached to it. So we really need to reframe it. Because true, healthy discipline isn't about punishment at all. It's about teaching. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? Our goal isn't to make our kids afraid of us or afraid of making a mistake. The real goal is to give them the tools they need to make better choices all on their own. It's about helping them build their own internal compass. I think the most important thing here is the shift from being reactive to being intentional. Instead of just reacting with emotion when something goes wrong, we set clear expectations ahead of time. And when a rule that's broken, the consequence is delivered calmly and consistently. And, this is huge, we preserve their dignity. The behavior was the mistake, not the child. Our third pillar, this one is maybe the most powerful. And let's be honest, the most challenging. Because it's not about what we say to our kids. It's about who we are right there in front of them. Our actions, day in and day out, are their primary textbook. And get this, there's actually some fascinating neuroscience that explains why this is so true. Ever wonder why a baby just instinctively smiles back at you when you smile at them? It's because of something in our brains called mirror neurons. These are amazing little brain cells that fire both when we do an action and when we watch someone else do that same action. It literally means our kids are hardwired to absorb our habits, our reactions, and our ways of dealing with stress. So what does this actually mean for us? It means the single best way to teach your child how to manage their anger is for them to see you manage your anger. The best way to teach them to apologize is for them to hear you say, you know what? I'm sorry. I was wrong. You are their living, breathing curriculum. And that brings us to our fourth and final pillar, nurturing confident independence. Because at the end of the day, our job is to basically work ourselves out of a job, right? To raise children who are ready to fly from the nest with real capability and genuine confidence. This is a place where a tiny little change in our language can have a gigantic impact. Some groundbreaking research from a psychologist named Carol Dweck shows that when we praise the outcome, when we say, "You're so smart," we can actually accidentally create a fear of failure in our kids. Why? Because it suggests that intelligence is just this thing you either have or you don't. But when we praise the effort, "Wow, you worked so hard on that," we build resilience. We teach them that their abilities can actually grow if they just keep trying. And we build that independence in 100 small ways every day, by letting them pack their own lunch, even if it's a total mess, or by letting them struggle with a puzzle for a few extra minutes before we jump in to save them. Every single time we step back, they learn how to step forward. So as we wrap this all up, let's just land on this one essential truth. You are going to make mistakes. We all do. This journey is not about being a perfect parent. It's about being a present one. It's about the simple, powerful act of just trying, again and again, to show up and connect. If you take one thing away from all of this, let it be this. Every small, consistent effort you make really, really matters. Every time you choose to listen instead of lecture, to validate a feeling, or to apologize for your own mistake, you're making a deposit in their emotional bank account. And those small moments, they compound over time, building the foundation of your child's strength for their entire life. And that leaves us with one final thought for you. Don't try to change everything all at once. That's just a recipe for burnout. Instead, just pick one thing. What is the one small, consistent habit you can start tomorrow that will help you build a stronger foundation for the person you love most in this world?